Maybe it's a contentious point having a Ken Loach film described as underappreciated. The man and his body of work is staggering, and his films tell the hard truths about real lives in Britain. Yet Raining Stones seems to have been pushed to one side when discussing Loach's filmography. Maybe it is because it feels less of a social political documentary style Ken Loach film and more as a narrative driven film about hardships yet sprinkled with comedy. It's an odd mix for sure, however Loach makes it work. This is Raining Stones.
Stay quiet, he might come down. There's one here on its own.
Get it! She'll get it! Oh, we...
Oh, blimey, it's got loads of bottle, hasn't it? Go on, get hold of it, smash it. Go on. How many times have you been in that position with a sheep?
The church has decided that when a child reaches the age of 7, it's time for the parents to prepare them for their first Holy Communion.
How much is this communion going to cost us?
Our dresses start from £50 and they go up to £90.
I don't care how long it takes or what I've got to do. She's going to get a dress. Now it all depends if I get my hands on a van.
How many owners has it had?
Oh, there's only one owner.
Who was it? Ben Eyre?
Who's Ben Eyre? Does he live on the estate?
Oh, come on, this is us, kid. We're on our way up now.
Then you want a veil from £5.99 up to £9.99. Does look really lovely on her.
There's no reason for you and Anne to be going into any debt because of it.
This is her big day. And ours. This is once in a lifetime. I'm in the area doing drains, and I wonder if you'd like yours cleaned out.
There's nothing wrong with my mains.
What I do basically is lift your manhole cover off, put my rods together, rod it through, make sure it's clean and clear for you.
Oh, my God.
Sounds great, it's just what I need.
Get in here.
Why?
Get in.
Oh, Jesus!
I think that did the trick, Bob.
Loach had made a name for himself in the 1960s and 70s with his film Kes and also his work on TV series Play for Today and The Wednesday Play. But in the 1980s, he literally couldn't get his work shown anywhere. His documentaries about trade unions were banned, and he ended up scratching a living by making TV commercials. Channel 4 came calling and financed his feature film Hidden Agenda, which saw a rebirth of Loach as a feature filmmaker. This was followed by the comedy drama Riff Raff. Then came Raining Stones. Written by socialist playwright Jim Allen, who had already collaborated with Loach on Hidden Agenda, Raining Stones tells the story about Bob, a man desperately trying to raise the money to pay for his daughter's communion dress. Shot mainly on the Langley estate in Greater Manchester and with a script and a director that encouraged and demanded improvisation. Starring newcomer Bruce Jones as Bob and Brookside actor Ricky Tomlinson as Bob's mate Tommy, the rest of the cast was filled out with unknown actors or locals from the estate. Loach was keeping it very real. The Cannes Film Festival invited Raining Stones to be screened as part of the festival. So successful was it that upon the first screening the film received a standing ovation. It went on to win the jury prize at the festival, but its release in October in the UK failed to really take off. The early 90s still had that hangover from the impoverished 80s. People were still living that life. They didn't want to see it reflected on screen. They wanted cheering up. But this was Ken Loach. That wasn't going to happen. However, if film fans had seen Raining Stones, they might have found the film more humorous than expected. The eternal optimism in Bob is what drives the film. He knows he's sinking further and further into debt with trying to pay for his daughter's communion dress, but he doesn't care. All he cares about is making his little girl's big day in church incredibly special. Some of the most fun moments in the film are when Bob is ducking and diving, trying to scratch together any old chunks of money. Watching the scene where Bob and Tommy try to sell off some sheep to a local butcher, initially they decide to try to kill the sheep before chopping it up and selling the individual joints. But a conscience hits them and they decide to just drive the sheep to the back door of the butcher's and let him do the dirty work of the killing. The film is littered with comedic scenes like that, and that kept this genteel humour rippling throughout. But this is Ken Loach. He doesn't make comedies. He makes gritty, realist pieces of work, and when Raining Stones hits, it hits hard. Bob is a man who will do anything for his family, and he's constantly worried about his sins being forced onto his daughter. He tries to shield her and his wife away from everything. But when the local gangster/debt collector comes calling, loan sharking is displayed in all of its filthy glory. There is no money in the house, but the debt collector and his sidekick rip apart the place, all the while as the daughter looks on through tears of fear. As much as this is a feature film, this moment is ripped directly from millions of people's real lives. As much as Bob is a likeable guy, and his optimism is incredibly touching, he is too far down the rabbit hole of debt to even find a way out. He says to the local vicar, "I go to church, I believe in God, but it doesn't put food on the table." And he's right. The only thing putting food on the table is payment from hard graft. But hard graft has become harder because work in Manchester is a struggle to get for Bob and Tommy and millions more. The Conservative government have betrayed the working class and made the class divide even wider the further north of London you went. The characters' dialogue may be hard to understand at times, yet the overarching message is one of the simplest to understand, really. People trying to hold on to their dignity in the face of adversity and poverty. The film's title came from one of the cast members who told Loach it was part of a saying: when you're poor, it rains stones every single day.
Mrs. Williams.
Really?
Nice to meet you, love.
So you bastard!
Look, you don't just come barging in somebody's house.
This subject! You've got a dickhead for an husband and he owes me money!
You've got no bleeding right, Bob. You really haven't.
It's like a princess.
It is lovely, isn't it?
Go on, Colleen, give us a twirl. Oh, yeah.